Aboard a marine surveillance ship, a man named Hunter, his partner Ray, and his niece Jada were enjoying their trip. However, their tranquility is disturbed when they witness a group of tourists setting off fireworks around the water. One of the tourists named Blend, along with his friend and girlfriend, could only surrender when Hunter swiftly grabbed the fireworks. He sternly warned them that the act was not only dangerous but could also damage the marine ecosystem around the island. Some time later, Ray, who was fishing at sea, felt a strong tug on the end of her hook. However, instead of a fish, she pulled on the blue corpse of a man. Their initial guess was that the man had died from drowning. Sensing something was amiss, Jada immediately operated their advanced underwater drone to investigate the deeper water area. Soon after, they detected a mysterious light on the seabed. The suspicion arose that the corpse came from that location. They planned to report their findings to the authorities. However, before they can go any further, something horrifying happens. The corpse floating near Jada suddenly moves and brutally attacks her. Ray, who saw the incident, immediately tried to help, while Hunter, who had just arrived, jumped into action. Without hesitation, Hunter stabbed the corpse several times, hoping to stop its attack. However, despite receiving severe wounds, the creature rose again, making them even more panicked and confused. In an increasingly dangerous situation, they finally decided to throw the corpse back into the sea. Jada suffered serious injuries to her chest and lost a lot of blood. Realizing her niece's critical condition, they immediately docked to seek medical assistance. Hunter immediately contacted a doctor named Kenzie, who was also his girlfriend. Upon receiving the emergency call, Kenzie immediately moved quickly and provided first aid to Jada. Meanwhile, on the way to take Jada to the hospital, Hunter gets a call that adds to the suspense. He sees an Akani-esque fin that makes him even more wary. Nervous, he tried to explain the situation they had just experienced. Jada's horrific incident was unbelievable. She was attacked by a corpse that suddenly came back to life, something that was beyond belief. At first, Akani doubts the story, but Hunter, who has spent 30 years of his life working at sea, insists that this is the first time he has witnessed something so strange. Sensing something was wrong, he asked Akani to investigate further with him. Upon arriving at the scene, Hunter acted quickly. He operated a small diving device to view the conditions at the bottom of the sea. The sight that appeared on the screen shocked them. A shipwreck appeared there, in a very fragile state, as if it had been submerged for decades. However, what gave them even more chills was when they saw something moving around. The suspense peaked as several creepy figures slowly surfaced. The undead floated, moved as if swimming, and tried to approach their ship from the location of the mysterious sunken ship. Akani, who had been laughing at Hunter's story, was now speechless. The realization of the looming danger made him immediately contact the Coast Guard. He ordered that everyone around the shoreline be evacuated immediately, especially after he noticed that the seawater had begun to recede drastically, a clear sign that a massive tsunami was on its way. This was further reinforced by the fact that a few hours earlier, the region had been rocked by an earthquake. Aware of the bigger threat, Hunter immediately contacted his girlfriend, Dr. Kenzie, and asked her to prepare for the worst. However, instead of calming down, Kenzie became increasingly panicked. Her son, Sam, was outside with Akani's son, Tani, enjoying a musical performance. Within seconds, a giant wave suddenly appeared on the horizon, rolling in with incredible force. Hunter and Akani can only watch in horror as the powerful wave moves closer. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Ray feels the same panic as she tries to keep Jada safe. However, there's one thing they don't realize as Hunter witnesses firsthand: the wave brings not only destruction, but also thousands of zombies. Hunter, realizing they didn't have much of a choice, quickly made a decision. He steered their ship away, trying to stay behind the waves to avoid being directly affected. A few hours after the massive tsunami hit, the water finally began to recede. For a moment, things seemed calmer. However, reality said otherwise. From beneath the rubble and remnants of destruction, ghastly figures began to emerge. Wave-drawn zombies now dot the coastline, creating a scene far more horrifying than the disaster itself. Volunteers who were unaware of the creature's existence tried to help them. Instead, they become victims, attacked and bitten without even realizing the danger. Meanwhile, Hunter and Akani, who survived the tsunami, can only watch the horror unfold. They know that this is just the beginning, and what comes next is far more horrifying than they could have ever imagined. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Ray is still faithfully looking after the unconscious Jada. However, the situation turns into a nightmare when Jada suddenly breathes her last. Before Ray can respond, something horrifying happens. Jada revives, not as a human, but as a zombie. Fear grips Ray as the transformed Jada lunges at her with a bloodthirsty snarl. She almost falls victim to the bite before a nurse arrives, intending to help. Unfortunately, her good intentions end in tragedy. Jada, who had lost control, attacked the nurse ferociously, biting her mercilessly. The originally tense atmosphere of the hospital now turned into total panic, blood splattered on the white floor. Elsewhere, Dr. Kenzie had just arrived at the hospital unaware of the horror that was unfolding. She felt something was off. The hospital was so quiet, as if it was abandoned. An uneasy feeling came over her until she finally saw something that made her body freeze in fear. At the end of the hallway, Jada, who had now turned into a zombie, seemed to be tearing apart the body of a nurse, devouring it brutally. Panicked, Kenzie almost screamed before the living Ray signaled her to hide. Terrified, Kenzie crouched behind the desk, trying to control her breathing. Ray quickly explained what had happened, that something terrible has risen from the ocean and is now beginning to spread to the land. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Hunter and Akani realize that things are getting dangerous. They decide to save themselves immediately. Without much choice, they enter a car parked on the side of the road. However, they were surprised to find that Blend and his girlfriend were already in the car. Not wanting to waste any time, Hunter immediately stepped on the gas, taking them away from the dangerous area. Their journey took them to the police station, hoping that the place was safe enough. However, that hope was soon dashed when they discovered that the office had also been surrounded by hordes of zombies. In an increasingly chaotic situation, Blend shows his true colors. He unhesitatingly pushes his own girlfriend towards the zombies in order to save himself. The heinous act makes the atmosphere even more tense. Amidst the panic, zombies began to break down the entrance to the police station. Hunter, still angry with Blend's actions, demanded an explanation, but the cunning man took it a step further. With a swift move, he snatched a gun from a policeman and pointed it at them, forcing them to surrender all their weapons. Things turned even more dangerous when Blend unhesitatingly shot the policeman near Akani. Hunter's anger reached its peak. Full of emotion, he hit Blend with a crushing blow, knocking the man to the ground. Meanwhile, elsewhere, the seawater was slowly receding after the devastating tsunami that rolled up the coastal region. However, that didn't bode well. The band members who were playing music in town, including Dan and Ren, were now beginning to see the nightmare for themselves. They witness people running around in panic as zombies begin to attack indiscriminately. A frightened Ren tries to escape with Tanny, but fate has another say. In a chaotic situation, Ren gets an attack that knocks him down, while Tanny, who can't do anything, has to be separated from her friend due to the horde of zombies blocking her way. Back at the police station, the surviving Hunter and Akani finally find that the zombie horde outside is slowly moving away. However, they know all too well that it's not over yet. The real disaster has only just begun. Her curiosity drove her to find out more about what was really going on. However, on the other hand, Akani showed a suspicious attitude. She secretly burned and destroyed some important documents, as if trying to hide something. When Hunter tried to contact the police for help, Akani didn't seem to care. Her strange demeanor made Hunter even more suspicious, but the urgency of the situation meant he had to focus on their safety first. After some time trying to escape the zombie siege, Akani finally received a phone call from her daughter, Tanny. Breathing heavily, the girl tells her that she managed to escape the zombie attack and is now taking refuge in a compound on a hillside, at the home of a man named Rico, someone Akani also knows. However, there was something strange about Rico. Moments after the tsunami receded, he was seen carrying a zombie, as if conducting an experiment. This raises many questions. Does Rico know something that others don't? After confirming that Tanny was safe, Akani was immediately directed to pick up Sam, the son of Dr. Kenzie. According to Tanny, Sam got separated from their group while trying to escape. With feelings of anxiety and panic, Akani and Hunter immediately headed to the last location where Sam was seen. Their journey was full of suspense. They had to avoid the hordes of zombies roaming the streets, finding a way to get close to Sam without attracting the creature's attention. As the situation becomes more urgent, Sam makes a desperate decision. He climbs onto the roof of the car and starts singing loudly to distract the zombies. The strategy works. The zombies shift their focus to him, giving him an opening to escape. However, at the same time, danger comes from another direction. And one of the people who was with them had to face a surprise attack from the zombies. With all his courage, he tried to fight and hold them off so that Sam could escape. Unfortunately, Dan's bravery cost him his life. He died a hero, giving the others a chance to survive. After rescuing Sam, they quickly devised their next plan: go to the hospital to pick up Kenzie. However, upon arrival, they are faced with a new challenge. Hordes of zombies have infested the hospital area, making their journey even more dangerous. Akane and Hunter began to devise a new strategy after realizing that fighting zombies the normal way would not be effective unless they managed to injure the head. However, Hunter came up with the best solution using electricity to paralyze the zombies. This idea makes sense considering the zombies have been submerged in water for a long time, so the electricity will be more effective in paralyzing them. While the battle was going on, Sam, Kenzie, and Ray finally managed to join them. At the same time, they are surprised to learn that apart from attacking the zombies' brains, other methods such as electric shocks can also kill them quickly. With this new strategy, they gain more confidence to fight these horrible creatures. Some time later, they arrived at Riskel's residence to pick up Tanny. However, as the conditions outside were still very dangerous, they decided to stay there temporarily. While seeking help through radio communication, Akane suddenly heard a mysterious voice that was very disturbing. Her curiosity piqued, and without realizing it, she was attacked by zombies while in a research laboratory. On the other hand, Riskel still seemed to be keeping a lot of secrets. His explanation of the experiments he conducted on the zombies was still not entirely clear, making the others even more suspicious. However, they chose not to focus too much on that for now. Their main priority is to survive and eliminate all the zombies still roaming the city, for the safety of themselves and the people around them. They come up with the most plausible plan, gather the zombies into a pool of water, then electrocute them until they're all gone. However, on the way to the execution site of the plan, Akane's condition begins to deteriorate. The virus that infected her began to spread inside her body, making her weaker and weaker. In her dying state, Akane finally revealed a shocking fact. Apparently, 30 years ago, a pharmaceutical company came up with the claim that they had discovered an anti-aging drug. However, since the effectiveness of the drug was still questionable, the company chose to keep everything secret. In order to cover up the findings, the company bribed Akane as well as the local government so that the truth would never be revealed to the public. However, behind its promising claims, the drug has horrifying side effects. Instead of slowing down aging, it turns people into zombies. After hearing Akane's harrowing confession, the group had to quickly move back as the zombie horde began to close in. Realizing that she was infected, Akane bravely chose to sacrifice herself. She tried to hold back the zombies from attacking the rest of the group, giving the others time to execute their plan. The battle began. The group was now split into two teams with different tasks. Hunter, Sam, and Kenzie were responsible for taking out the zombies along the coastline. They used puddles as electric traps that would paralyze the creatures. To herd the zombies towards the traps, Hunter uses an old motorcycle with deafening music, attracting the attention of the undead horde to move in the direction they have prepared. Meanwhile, in another location, Tanny and Ray are tasked with destroying a shipwreck in the middle of the sea that is the zombies' main lair. However, this mission is not an easy one. Among them, only Riskel has the expertise in assembling and using C4 bombs. With a sense of indecision, Riskel tries to plan and prepare the bomb before entering the water to plant it in the right location. However, before he could carry out his mission, a horrific incident occurred. Riskel was suddenly attacked by a zombie that emerged from the water, killing him before he could set the bomb. This situation forced Ray and Tanny to think quickly to find another solution. They finally decided to wrap the bomb in plastic so that it wouldn't be exposed to water and could still function. Realizing the bomb's immense explosive power, Ray tells Tanny to swim to shore to save herself, while she herself chooses to stay where she is, with a high probability of not surviving after detonating the bomb. A powerful explosion rocked the ocean, creating huge waves that crashed into the coastal area. However, in the wake of the destruction, a miracle occurred. Hunter, Sam, and Kenzie managed to survive the massive wave. In fact, they weren't the only ones. Tanny also managed to escape the catastrophe that almost took her life.